Welcome back to Your Friend in Food, the podcast where we explore the stories, memories, and meaning behind the meals that connect us. I'm your host, Sandy Markle, and today's episode is all about the heart of Southern comfort and the power of cooking through change. I'm joined today by Marsha McDougal, the creator behind Maple Jubilee. Her recipes are rooted in soul food traditions, but reimagined through a lens of joy, balance, and health. In our conversation, Marsha opens up about her journey from watching her mom cook every night in Nashville to facing a life-changing diagnosis that reshaped the way she approaches food, family, and flavor. We talk about the dishes that define comfort, the power of food to heal, and why recipes are so much more than ingredients. They're pieces of who we are. So grab a cup of tea, settle in. Let's get into it.
I'm so excited to have you here with me, Marsha, to talk about all things food and life and fun. And I want to really start at the beginning of your journey with food, with recipes, with cooking. I want to ask you, what role did food play in your life growing up?
It played a
Yeah.
big role. Thankfully, everybody's childhood experience is different or how they're raised is different. But I did grow up in a household where my mom cooked almost every night for dinner. She took the weekends off. She's, I'm not cooking on the weekends, but she cooked pretty much every night. It was a repeat. Like you could probably predict what she was going to fix on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But I took to it and I enjoyed it. I wasn't the type that, and I don't know if this is the same with most young girls. I was right up beside her the whole time, watching her the whole time. And she bought me my own little cow. I need to see if she still had, I think she still had some like some cow measuring spoons, like little baby measuring spoons. And I just helped my mom cook from a young age in the kitchen. And then outside of our family, we had big family gatherings for the holidays with our extended
Mhm.
family. So food was a big part of my life growing up. Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
Nashville.
Oh, you're from Nashville. Okay.
Yep. Nashville, born and raised. And I still,
I'm originally from Miami, and it's such a specific type of city to grow up in because it's so international. But I'm still learning more about that Southern American culture because I didn't eat like that growing
oh,
up,
that's true.
you
Yeah.
know?
So what did you
So
eat? What foods did you eat growing up?
I ate a lot of Caribbean food. I ate a lot of your Cuban food, Latin food. And I remember the first time I had biscuits and white gravy. I think I was like 25. And my manager was like talking about it. And she's, you've never had biscuits and white gravy? She was from Virginia. And I said, no. So she made sure to make me some biscuits and white gravy. And it was the best thing I ever had. But
Wow.
it seems so strange, right? Because growing up in the United States, you would think, but there's so many regional differences in food. But the thing that brings everything together is that comforting type of whatever it is. It brings you comfort. And whenever I go home, before I go home, my mom always calls me and asks me what I want her to make. So
Yeah.
yeah, I totally get that. So was there a recipe or dish that makes you feel connected to home or to someone you love? Like when you want to have that feeling of home, what do you think of?
Oh my
Yeah, I know. That's a hard question, right?
It is. It's so many. It would probably be anything. Oh gosh. It is literally so many. Like you said, as far as you going home and what you want your mom to cook, whenever we have Sunday dinner, my mom reaches out. I have three older brothers, and she asks us what we want for Sunday dinner. And I have a favorite dish from my mom. And it is like her beef short ribs with
Mm.
mashed potatoes and cabbage. That is like my go-to, my favorite. When I had my children, my mom would cook a couple of meals for me after we got home from the hospital. And it was always that. I was like, Mom, I gotta have, I probably shouldn't have been eating that heavy. I did not care. I was like, Mom, I gotta
Yeah.
have this. So she knows that's my favorite.
They know.
Oh, that is my favorite, and I need to put that on my blog. I haven't yet, as far as the beef short ribs. But outside of that's within the past 10 years. But like when I was younger, my favorite was like during Christmas, she always made three things. It was something called Hello Dollies, but they also call them magic cookie bars. That is on my website.
Okay.
And sausage balls, which is also my site, and like crispy treats. So she most of these,
Mm.
except the sausage balls, but most of these she only makes Christmas. So you only got it once a year.
Yeah.
And it was not considered Christmas unless my mom made those three things. And literally, like, I remember we're all like, say we're all grown now, and my mom still makes it. But one year, I think she didn't make like the Hello Dollies. And my brothers was like, what is going on? You didn't make Hello Dollies? Like, it's Christmas. You supposed to. So she probably has missed one Christmas. And so those memories really stay with me. And I love putting those recipes on my site, even if they don't really fit my niche or anything like that, or if I don't get any views. It's just because it makes me happy and it reminds me of my childhood.
That's so important. I think even the way you're talking about it now, you just like, you're lighting up just talking
Yeah.
about it. And that's the thing about food memories and the recipes that evoke those feelings in us. As I been working in food over the last 10 years, I see when people talk about food in that way, I didn't even realize that was happening in the past until I just was talking to so many people. And maybe we're talking about a campaign or something technical, but there were those moments where something happened, like it's happening right now. And you go back to that time and every time you make it. And so it's great that as a content creator, you're able to put those memories in a capsule kind of, and so that you can go back to them anytime.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think is really cool is your own journey, just being able to document what you do and in terms of content. Do you think as you've been a content creator, how has cooking and your own food memories helped you evolve and share recipes in the way that still feels authentic to yourself?
I would say it just depends on the recipe. And I guess it really doesn't matter what the recipe is. For my content and what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to share a combination of dinner recipes, comfort food, but trying to incorporate more vegetables, nutrients into those foods. So the reason why that really is a big goal of mine is because of my past health history.
Okay.
So back in 2016, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and I was 32. And after I completed my treatment process and the cancer was removed, my doctor was very honest with me and she went over statistics as far as it coming back and what I could do to prevent it. And one thing that she said that really stuck with me is what you eat. And she went into detail about that. And then she started telling me books to buy. And so she was just really just taken aback because up until then, any of my doctors really never took the time to have conversations with me like that outside of prescriptions and medicines and but she's
Right.
really, hey, I really don't even want to see you in this office again to be treated for cancer. I'm trying to help you. And so that really stuck with me. And then I thought about my culture and how I was raised and the food we ate. And so I was like, man, African American culture, we love us some soul food. That talking with my husband, I didn't really want to stray when I decided to start a food blog. I didn't want to stray too far for
Right.
my roots. And so I knew I wasn't gonna do heavy pork and things that probably was just not good for us. But I was like, it gotta still be soulful. And that was the purpose behind what I want to do. And I've been trying to find that kind of balance. But when it comes to the recipes that I put on my site, a lot of them are pulled from what I grew up on. And sometimes I'll look and about SEO and all that good stuff. And
Yeah.
you see what's out there. And you're like, oh, maybe mine should be like that. But then I'll think that's not how my mom made it. That's not how
Right.
I'll call my mom and be like, "Mom, remind me how this was." And so I'll pull from that and then I might tweak it just a
Okay.
little bit to take some of the quote unquote unhealthy part out of it. But it's
Right.
still soulful. It's still flavorful. It's not too healthy where people feel like they can't connect to it. And then when I'm writing the blog post, I'll express that in the blog post. I'll express this is Southern, this is soulful. It just doesn't have the ham hock. It just
Yeah.
doesn't have, it might not have that part, but
Oh,
I'll explain that I've replaced that flavor with this flavor with smoked turkey. And I promise you, it's good. And so I've tried to do that in my recipe development and in writing the blog post. So people, especially people in my community, my culture, can still feel connected to it and still be interested in it to actually want to try it. And then when they try it, because I recipe test everything multiple times, I want them to be like, man, this is good. It might not have that in it, but it's still really good. I actually
yeah.
like this better or whatnot.
That's so inspiring, Marsha. I didn't even know that about you.
Mm.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think not being a content creator in food myself, but how can your journey not show up in the way you're presenting your recipes? So it's a combination of, like you said, how you grew up, but also how you're showing up in the world today through this journey where you had to find a balance between your health and your comfort or the place that you knew. I can definitely relate to that too. I'm plant-based now for health reasons. And at first, I was really scared about what that meant. Could I be happy? I love food so much.
Me too.
And
I didn't
so
know you were plant-based.
I
Wow.
am, yeah. And so in 2020, I decided to go plant-based. And after my first meltdown, oh no, I'm going to be eating salad every day. I stopped and said, wait a second, Sandy, you have access to the largest database of recipes anybody, but more than anyone else. And so I started looking for inspiration in the creators that I knew and people that mirrored the things that I wanted to actually eat, making sure that your story resonates in the things that you show and share with
Mm.
people and home cooks. And I'm sure it's making a difference in their lives because you want to still love the things that you put into
Yeah.
your body too. So that's awesome. Throughout this journey, you've been able to share recipes, you've been able to improve your own skills and abilities to develop and create content on a professional level. And throughout that journey, also having health issues as well. So there was a lot going on in the last 5 to 7 years of your life. Is there any project or recipe you develop or moment that you're especially proud of that kind of got you through those challenging moments or made you feel like, wow, I can do this, I've made this, or anything that just kept you going? Is there any moment that you remember that's related to creating food or recipes in your career?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. The thing that sticks out is my last job that I just had. So I started recipe developing and I started my food blog in 2020. So it was October 2020. I remember it. So I'm almost at my 5-year mark. And so I started doing that full time in October of 2020 and enjoyed it, was loving it. And then decided that I wanted to look for a job and go back to work part time. and still keep my food blog. And long story short, I was looking for a job, end up coming across a job as a recipe developer for a major popular food blog, which you're familiar with, called Budget Bytes. And I ended up getting that job, and that really changed the game for me. I ended up doing that full time and deciding to take a break on my personal blog. But the goal was really to further develop my skills as a recipe developer and as a food blogger. And man, it really did. It really did. It was so much that I thought I knew it, I didn't know. And it was so much that I was just open to learning. You can't never really think that you have gotten to a point where you can't learn anything else. You got to be open to it. And I was proud of myself for taking a step back and working up under somebody else again, because I had just come from working in corporate America for 13 years and left that and was like, I'm starting my own business. And
Yeah.
I don't work for anybody else anymore. And sometimes it could be humbling to have to be like, okay, I gotta go back to work. But it didn't bother me at all, because what happened is I was going to work for something that I really had a passion for. So it ended up being something that I was really excited about, because this is not a typical job. I
Right.
was actually getting a job for what I was doing as an entrepreneur. That was an opportunity of a lifetime for me. And so I was like, my blog, Maple Jubilee, is going to have to be put on the side. And I am going to soak up all of this knowledge and information that I possibly can for working for this other food blog as a recipe developer. And I succeeded. My recipes over there were just taking off, and the comments was coming in, Marsha, we love your recipe so much.
I may
You
have
know,
commented.
it just gives you that boost, and that helps your self-esteem. And it's, man, I am really good at this, right? And so that was the moment for me that really changed the game as far as my food blogging career is concerned. And I did that for 2 years. And then I just recently left to come back to doing my own food blog full time again. But absolutely love it. And that was the pivotal moment for me in my career so far.
It was so cool to meet you in person. It's funny for me. I always feel like I know people. And I feel like that's how a lot of people feel. When I first saw you, I'm like, I know her. Why do I know her? And when I saw your name, I was like, oh my goodness, because I remember when you joined, and the first thing I said to you was like, you did such an amazing job with the content there. And I think
Yeah.
there are technical aspects of creating food content, the images and the copy for the recipes. One thing that I've learned in my own work is you want people to feel like you're by their side, and bringing a little bit of yourself to the table so that your recipe becomes their signature dish. And I feel like you really were able to do that. And I think even though you were working under another brand, you are still able to establish your own voice and your own point of view. And that comes from all the things that you're coming with. And it's just the technical skills that you learn from the brand, which what a great way to improve on yourself.
Yeah.
And what a wonderful, I love doing that too. I think your love for food and the power of it in your life and in the lives of others really is what kind of helped you to know that was okay to do, temporarily put your content on hold so that it could be better in the long run, the long term.
And it's good for, in case there's business owners listening to this podcast, it's good to give people that opportunity.
Yes.
Oftentimes, you may come across individuals that may not have went to school for it. They may not have the degree or culinary. I didn't go to culinary school. I'm self-taught. But you will be surprised how well those people end up turning out. And so it is good to actually give individuals a chance. And I was so thankful for the opportunity.
I feel like a lot of the most pivotal opportunities that I had was only because people liked me. They said, "There's something about you. I don't know what it is." And it really changed the trajectory of my life
Yeah.
and creating a space and place for people to grow and give them a
Mhm.
chance. And when I was in a role of senior leadership, I always tried to make a space for people to do that too, because it's so important. And being able to see someone's potential is so important.
Yeah,
And I
definitely.
think, especially in this space of food where we're all trying to just help people create meaningful meal memories to just want to
Yeah,
get more people to cook, there's definitely enough space to do
yeah.
that. I can't wait to see how you continue to pay it forward in the things that you do next. Yeah, I'm super excited for you in that end and knowing more about your journey with food and making meals to not just help others, but heal yourself is really amazing. And it makes sense now hearing about it, just your deliberate way you're working through your own professional career. So I
Mhm.
appreciate you sharing that.
Thank you.
One thing about food memories and the way food has helped us, recipes and creating helps us is navigating the changes in our identity. A lot of the things that the way we see ourselves, sometimes it's tied into our food memories. How has food helped you navigate like identity change in ways you didn't expect? So when I say identity, I mean you going from a daughter to mom to professional blogger to working at Budget Bytes. Was it an easy thing to do to navigate those transitions? Or can you see pivotal moments where you were able to use your foundational appreciation and understanding of food in those moments?
Sure. I would say, yeah. More so from going from becoming a wife
Right.
than mom, because you have that as soon as you get married, you have that like thing of be like, oh, I gotta cook for my husband. And oh my gosh, he's expecting me to make roast. And yeah, you get that anxiety, like, I gotta cook, I gotta cook. And my husband is awesome, by the way. And so when we first got married, I was making hamburger helper, sloppy joe. He was not complaining, and I was like, "Ah." And even though I didn't grow up, I grew up my mom cooking. I just was not there yet. I got married
Yeah.
in my 20s, and I just was not there. But I eventually got there, and then you have the kids. But yeah, I would say food helped me in each one of those transitions from wife to mom, and then from the health transition.
Yeah.
That was when it really shifted, to be honest with you. Not so much becoming a mom and a wife, it was the health
Mhm.
crisis. That was the game changer right there,
Right.
because then it's not a matter of, "Oh, I gotta change what I eat because I wanna lose weight," or and not to put any disease or not to say one is worse than the other, but I had actually had high blood pressure. I had been diagnosed with high blood pressure before the cancer.
Wow.
And that was due to preeclampsia with my son.
Mm.
And a lot of people have it while they're pregnant. And when they deliver, it goes away. Mine never went away. Still on high blood pressure pills. But that wasn't enough to make me change my eating. And I was doing like little smoothies, but you're on medicine, right? You're like, well, as
Right.
soon as I take these pills, it's controlled. So even that didn't change it. It was that cancer that
Yeah.
changed it. And but
Yeah.
now you're looking at, am I gonna live or die? And so that really was the game
Mm.
changer for me. And then I really started diving deep into food. And then I was building on the foundations that my mom taught me on top of the new information that I was learning about food. And then I decided to combine both of those,
Yeah.
make Maple Jubilee.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Because it is those like pivotal moments in your life that is like a major. I feel like when I went
Yeah.
plant based, that was a major change because I never ate vegetables, if I'm going to be honest. Not as
Yeah.
much as I should. Even when I told my friends that I went plant based, they didn't believe me. That's how
Wow.
bad it was. That's how much I didn't eat vegetables. And that was only 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It really shifted the way I see food and how I can enjoy it and live more healthy. And nothing is mutually exclusive. You're still a wife, you're still a mom, you're still a food blogger, but also you have this layer on top of that where eating to live is important to you. So that's great.
It wasn't easy either. And honestly, I've gotten better at it, but at the beginning, it was hard because
I bet it
like
was.
there's just these two very distinct sides of food. You have your vegans and vegetarians, and then you have your soul food people and fried food people.
Mm,
I just could not see myself becoming vegan or vegetarian and going to that extreme.
you
And then I
weren't.
knew I physically couldn't eat the soul food and fried food anymore because of,
Right.
my health. So I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't want to I don't want to go to either. I want something in the middle. And so that's what I'm striving to do is find a middle ground for people like me who can't eat that but don't want to be plant-based or go to that. And I can't give up chicken.
And I think that there's so many people in that situation that want to find that middle ground and but
Mhm.
not sacrificing their health. So I
Yeah.
love the name Maple Jubilee and I love the vision and mission of Maple Jubilee even more. What do you hope people feel when they engage with your content,
Oh
your
man,
recipes?
a lot of what we just talked about. Someone that genuinely loves food and loves creating food, loves flavorful food, nothing bland, but also cares about your health, is trying to incorporate to the best of her ability more nutrients and more vegetables into those dishes that you already love and expose you to new dishes that are super good and flavorful, but also nutrient dense. And then someone who can talk to you like a friend. When you're reading my blog posts, a lot of times it's nothing phony or I'm not trying to be over the top in the way I talk, but I'm also not trying to be like, this is what I just talking like we're talking now. You probably you see some Southern. I say y'all a lot.
I'm into it. I'm loving every minute of this, actually.
And I probably type it in my blog, but I want them to feel like, okay, Marsha is someone who understands the importance of eating healthy, but not sacrificing flavor and good food.
Yeah. That's
Mhm.
great. I think because that's coming from you, that's something that will definitely resonate in the content you create. Okay, so I have one last question. All right. And so if someone handed you a plate of comfort right now, a plate of comfort, something that feels like home, what would be on that plate?
Like food wise, oh gosh, it would definitely be either pot roast or beef short ribs. And that's so funny because I haven't put neither one of them on my They're coming this year though, they are coming. But because that means so much to me, it has to be just right. And both of them, like the pot roast is gonna be my mother-in-law's recipe, and the beef short ribs is gonna be my mom's. But it would be one of those 2, and it would be mashed potatoes because you gotta have potatoes with both of those. But then I love greens, so it would either be it would probably be a combination of cabbage, turnip, or collard, but guess what? I prefer turnip. I know
You
that is
do?
shocking. I do, but you don't see that a lot anymore.
No.
Most people cook collard. I probably won't even put turnip, but most likely it's
Wow.
judged, but I am gonna put collard.
Turnip greens.
Man, I grew up on
Mm.
turnip greens. I did not grow. Now I will say once probably I got into my late When I was in my 20s, I think that's when people started making collard greens. But I grew up on turnip greens,
Turnip greens.
and
Okay.
they just melt in your mouth, and they're not as chewy.
And collard greens, I'm obsessed with. I probably had a turnip green. I don't even know it.
My mom actually cooks collard greens now, but my dad, if he cooks, he's making turnip greens.
That's awesome.
But
Yeah.
that's probably too much information. Now
No,
people
that's
judge me.
you would have a feast. This is not on a plate. It's like it's like a table. It's a
This is a
comfort
lot of food.
table.
So some type of beef, mashed potatoes, cabbage, turnip or collard greens, green beans. I love greens. And that's really it. Some cornbread. That's it.
Even get me started on cornbread. I'm obsessed with cornbread. This could be a whole nother show
Yeah.
about my very intense view about cornbread.
What? What
Yes.
kind though? What kind of cornbread?
Okay, I'm okay if people put corn in cornbread, but the ratio between bread and corn has to be right. And sometimes it's a little too soggy,
Mm.
or the cornbread and the corn, they cook at different temperatures.
Mhm.
So sometimes people overcook the corn and it gets a little shrivelly in the bread, which I don't like. So if you don't know how to
Mhm.
combine the corn and the cornbread together, just
Mhm.
don't do it. I've had like skillet cornbread. I've had box cornbread. I'm also gluten free, which is a whole nother thing. But I have this great cookbook that I love by Tony Tipton Martin, Jubilee. I love it. And she has a few cornbread recipes that I would make while I was in China. And they use there's different grains of corn because I always loved cornbread growing up. In the cookbook, she had all these different versions of cornbread I never even experienced before. So I'm really picky about my cornbread. It can't be too sweet. It can't be too bland. It has to be the right moisture ratio. And not everybody can make good cornbread, is what I honestly feel. But I can eat a whole pan of cornbread and come
I
back
can't
for more the next day.
bread.
So this has been a wonderful conversation. I feel like I could talk to you all day. And I really appreciate you sharing the way that food has shown up in your life and inspired you to create and share recipes with others. Thank you so much, Marsha. And I can't wait to see what you do next with Maple Jubilee.
Thank you for having me. I have enjoyed our conversation. We'll definitely have to chat more.
That was my conversation with Marsha McDougal of Maple Jubilee, and I think you can hear it in her voice. Food isn't just something she makes, it's something she lives. Her story reminds us that comfort and health don't have to be opposites, that we can hold on to the flavors that shaped us while finding new ways to nourish ourselves and the people we love. You can find Marsha's recipes and more of her soulful cooking at maplejubilee.com, and I'll link to her blog in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow Your Friend in Food wherever you listen to podcasts, and leave a quick review. It helps more listeners find stories like Marsha's. Until next time, I'm Sandy Markle, reminding you that food is never just food. It's memory, it's meaning, it's connection.